Welcome to Knowledge Panel. Today let's talk about how a single date, July 12th, has shaped history in ways you might never expect. We often think of history in sweeping eras, but it's also made up of pivotal days where everything changes. July 12th is one of those days. Nations were born, rivalries ended in tragedy, and cultural icons emerged. We'll travel from African islands gaining independence to a bloody Irish battlefield, to a duel that changed America, and even to a baseball diamond. We'll see how politics, science, sports, and conflict all intersect on this one date. By pulling on the thread of July 12th, we reveal the tangled human tapestry of our shared past. So grab your metaphorical time-traveling gear, let's dive in. Our journey begins in 1975, off the coast of Central Africa, on the islands of São Tomé and Principe. For over 5 centuries these islands were a Portuguese colony, central to the slave trade and later cocoa production. But the winds of change swept through Africa in the 20th century. Portugal's Carnation Revolution in 1974 triggered rapid decolonization. On July 12, 1975, São Tomé and Principe raised their own flag for the first time with Manuel Pinto da Costa as president. Their independence was a milestone in Africa's decolonization, ending one of Europe's oldest empires. The challenges of nationhood, economic stability, political development, were immense, but so was the hope. July 12th marks their first step as a sovereign nation. It's a reminder that history isn't just about empires, but also about small places fighting for their right to exist. São Tomé and Principe's independence is a story of hope and freedom, all on this remarkable day. 4 years later, on July 12, 1979, another nation was born, this time in the Pacific Kiribati. Formerly the Gilbert Islands, Kiribati gained independence from Britain after nearly 90 years of colonial rule. Its story is one of resource exploitation and foreign governance, but also of resilience and self-determination. The Ellis Islands separated to become Tuvalu, and the remaining islands forged their own path. On Independence Day, the new flag of Kiribati was raised, symbolizing hope and a new identity. But Kiribati faces unique challenges. Its very existence is threatened by rising sea levels. Independence brought optimism, but also a fight for survival against climate change. July 12th is both a celebration and a call to action for Kiribati. Their story connects political history with environmental urgency. Now let's travel back to July 12, 1690, to the banks of the River Boyne in Ireland. This was not just any day, but a turning point in the history of these islands. A day that would echo through the centuries and leave a mark on generations to come. Here, 2 kings, James II, a Catholic, and William III, a Protestant, faced off in a battle that would shape the fate of 3 kingdoms. Their armies clashed not only for the crown, but for the future of religion, power, and identity across England, Scotland, and Ireland. William's victory secured Protestant rule and Parliament's power in England. But for Ireland, it was catastrophic. The outcome shifted the balance of power, leaving Irish Catholics dispossessed and disenfranchised, while Protestants gained dominance. The defeat led to harsh penal laws against Catholics and deepened sectarian divides that would last centuries. These laws stripped Catholics of land, rights, and even the ability to practice their faith openly, embedding inequality into the fabric of Irish society. July 12th became a day of celebration for some, and a painful reminder of oppression for others. For Protestants, it marked triumph and survival. For Catholics, it symbolized loss and injustice. The Battle of the Boyne's legacy still echoes in Irish politics and culture today. Murals, parades, and commemorations keep the memory alive, shaping how communities see themselves and each other. It's a stark example of how a single day can define identities and fuel conflict for generations. The divisions it created are visible in the very streets and neighborhoods of Northern Ireland, where peace walls still separate communities. Even now, parades and protests mark the anniversary, showing how history's wounds linger. The day is both a celebration and a flashpoint, a reminder that the past is never far away. The Boyne reminds us that history is never just the past, it's alive in the present. Its legacy shapes daily life, politics, and the hopes and fears of those who live with its consequences. On July 12th, we see how division and memory shape nations. The echoes of that battle still influence how people relate to each other, and how they remember their shared but divided history. This battle is a foundational myth for both sides of Ireland's divide. It is a story retold in schools, homes, and public spaces, reinforcing identities and sometimes, sadly, mistrust. Its impact is still felt, centuries later. The story of the Boyne is a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lives on in the hearts, minds, and traditions of a people still seeking reconciliation. Jumping to 1804, we find ourselves on the misty cliffs of Weehawken, New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from bustling New York City. This quiet spot, now marked by history, was once the stage for one of America's most infamous confrontations. Here, the long-standing rivalry between Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr reached its tragic climax. Both men were towering figures in early American politics, their ambitions and ideologies clashing time and again. Years of political and personal animosity fueled by public insults and private grievances led to a fateful duel at dawn. The air was thick with tension as the two men faced each other, pistols in hand, their seconds watching in silence. Hamilton, perhaps intending to throw away his shot as a final gesture of principle, was mortally wounded by Burr's bullet. The sound of the gunshot echoed across the river, signaling the end of a remarkable life. He died the next day, July 12th, surrounded by family and friends, plunging the young nation into a period of deep mourning and shock. News of his death spread quickly, leaving citizens reeling. Hamilton was more than just a political figure. He was a founding father, the architect of America's financial system, and a visionary who helped shape the Constitution as a co-author of the Federalist Papers. His ideas and energy left a lasting imprint on the nation. For Aaron Burr, the duel spelled disaster. His political career was destroyed, his reputation forever tarnished. The event marked the end of an era when personal honor could override reason and law, changing the course of American politics. The tragedy of Weehawken led to a sharp decline in dueling, as the public began to question the wisdom of settling disputes with violence. It also exposed the dangers of hyper-partisan politics and unchecked ambition. Hamilton's death wasn't just a personal loss, it was a turning point for American political culture, forcing leaders to reconsider the costs of their rivalries and the fragility of the Republic. July 12th became a day of national loss and reflection, a somber reminder of the price paid for political conflict and unchecked pride. The legacy of the duel endures as a cautionary tale about ambition, rivalry, and the devastating cost of pride. It stands as a warning to future generations. It's a powerful reminder that history can pivot on a single, violent moment. One decision that changes everything. The echoes of that fateful morning still shape how we remember America's early years, reminding us of the human stories behind the nation's founding. On July 12th, we pause to remember the price of political conflict and the enduring legacy of Alexander Hamilton. From tragedy, we turn to the birth of an institution, the Smithsonian, a place that would become a beacon of learning and discovery for generations to come. On July 12, 1846, Congress established the Smithsonian Institution, thanks to a remarkable bequest from British scientist James Smithson. Smithson, a chemist and mineralogist, left his entire fortune to a country he never set foot in, driven by a vision that knowledge should be shared freely. Smithson's fortune was entrusted to the United States to create an institution for the increase and diffusion of knowledge. His gift was both generous and visionary, laying the foundation for a new era of public education and scientific exploration. After years of debate and discussion, Congress created a uniquely American hybrid, part museum, part library, and part research center. The Smithsonian would become a place where curiosity could flourish and discoveries would be shared with all. The Smithsonian's founding marked a turning point for public access to knowledge and culture, opening doors to people from all walks of life and backgrounds. What began as a single building on the National Mall has grown into the world's largest museum and research complex, spanning multiple museums and research centers across the nation's capital and beyond. The Smithsonian embodies the democratic ideal that knowledge belongs to everyone, regardless of age, background, or circumstance. It is a place where the wonders of science, history, and art are made accessible to all. Its collections, from the Star-Spangled Banner to the Wright Flyer, from ancient fossils to moon rocks, tell the story of America and the world, connecting past achievements to future possibilities. July 12th marks the day America committed to making knowledge a public good, ensuring that learning and discovery would be available to all citizens, not just a privileged few. The Smithsonian's legacy is one of curiosity, discovery, and shared heritage. It inspires scientists, artists, and dreamers to push boundaries and ask new questions. It's a testament to generosity, vision, and the enduring belief that learning shapes a nation's future. Smithson's gift continues to ripple outward, touching millions of lives. Today, millions benefit from that vision, exploring, questioning, and discovering. Each visit a celebration of the idea that knowledge is for everyone, and that curiosity is the heart of progress. Not all history is made in government halls. Sometimes it's on the baseball field. On July 12, 1901, Cy Young, pitching for the Boston Americans, won his 300th game, a feat few have matched. Young was the first to reach this milestone, and he'd go on to win an untouchable 511 games. In today's game, 300 wins is nearly impossible, making Young's record legendary. He was a workhorse, pitching complete games at a rate unimaginable now. His endurance and skill set the standard for greatness in baseball. The Cy Young Award, given to the best pitcher each year, honors his legacy. July 12th celebrates not just a win, but the pinnacle of athletic achievement. Cy Young's story is about pushing human limits and defining excellence. His record, set on this day, remains a symbol of what's possible. Our final stop is July 12, 2006 on the Israel-Lebanon border. A Hezbollah raid killed and captured Israeli soldiers, igniting the 34-day Lebanon War. The conflict saw rocket barrages, airstrikes, and ground invasions devastating both sides. Over 1,000 Lebanese civilians died and massive displacement followed. Israel suffered casualties and widespread disruption. The war ended with a UN-brokered ceasefire, but neither side achieved its goals. Hezbollah's survival shifted regional power dynamics and highlighted the threat of non-state actors. The war's legacy is ongoing instability and mistrust in the Middle East. July 12th shows how a single incident can escalate into a major conflict. It's a sobering reminder of the fragility of peace. The consequences of that day still shape the region. So there you have it. Nations born, battles fought, legends made, and conflicts ignited, all on July 12th. This single date weaves together stories of hope, tragedy, achievement, and struggle. History isn't a straight line, it's a collage of moments, each shaping the world in its own way. Seeing these events side by side reveals the complexity of our shared past. While some celebrate, others mourn. While some build, others fight. Which July 12th story surprised you most? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey, like and subscribe for more deep dives from Knowledge Panel. Thanks for watching.